Hey, welcome back. Okay, so I did do a quick refresher of what happens at the turn end, and I think there's a couple of things to show you. First of all, this player guide has a lot of awesome tables. There's a few spots that, like, I'm almost ready to just rely on this to play the game, but I'm sort of tethering myself to the rulebook just in case there's some kind of detail over here that's missing that the rulebook explains, but it's not over here. And I'm almost ready to cut the cord. But one thing I wanted to show you, and I did a poor job of explaining it, is we do the levy phase, which is skipped on the first turn. And then the campaign phase is the thing we just did last turn. That's where we had the big battle, and we kept going until we drew the 2 end turn markers, right? Well, it didn't actually end the turn, it just ended the campaign phase. So now we're going to do a build phase, and then a diplomacy phase, and then we end the turn. The build and diplomacy phase are just straightforward. You just keep spending money until you can't spend money anymore, and then the diplomacy is, you do these 4 checks, and then we're going to do a turn end phase, which has a lot of steps to it, and that's the one thing we will probably have to rely on the rulebook for. Okay, so first thing is the build phase, and everything you need to know is right here in this chart. We can build bridges and roads, but only if there's a finished church in a region with a marquee and no enemy units, Vikings or Moors. It's a lot of requirements. This Italian piece would have qualified, except we don't have a church there. We can start a church there, but if you'll notice it says 3 coins. The text for the 3 is very close to looking like an 8 if you're not paying attention, so be mindful of that. Here might have been the biggest strategic mistake I made, because you saw me, I went in and I bought a marquee, and I thought I was all, cool for doing so. I probably should have saved my money, because I only have 2 gold in my treasury, and so I can't start a church. I think starting a church might have been the right way to go, but finishing the church costs 3 more coins, so it's a multi-turn thing to do. I think you can do both in the same round. Like, can I start construction and finish construction all in the same round? There is no restriction on this that I can see in the rule book. It just says you need to have a started church first, which we do. Okay, and then with the churches, you can't put a church in those pagan regions unless you have at least 3 other churches, and there's 4 regions out here. So I don't think we have to actually build a church in the blue zone, or maybe I missed that we already have a church there. Let me count how many church tokens we have. We have 4 of them, but nope, that would be for the pagan region. I think it's just assumed we have one already in blue. Blue is sort of a special thing. Of course, that's our own home territory. Okay, so moving on, the build phase was nothing for us. So then we do the diplomacy phase, and I'm going to try to do the shortcut here instead of the rule book. So we start at the top. 1 Viking is removed from a region with a marquee. We have no Vikings, so we don't have to worry about that. We can choose to pay off the rest, and the cost is the number of Vikings that are still in the region. So if there's 2 Vikings, it would cost 2. The Al-Andalus is the Moors. If there's tension, there isn't. And what they mean by tension is this token here is at peace, and it flips if there's tension. Now, what causes tension? Well, that's this hostile cup. We just haven't drawn a Moor out of the hostile cup. If we did, then that's where the tension comes in. Okay, so we don't do anything there. Then the Byzantine, it's a tension there. We have to roll to flip to peace. And then it says Deadpool to friendly cup. The Byzantium markers, okay? So then if taxation meets the wealth threshold, we get an EVP point. That's England. So our taxation is 9, and the wealth threshold is 9. See that there? So we actually did hit the wealth threshold. That's the top left number you see there on the game turn. So we actually scored an EVP. So now, what is an EVP? Well, the first thing an EVP is it's extra victory points at the end of the game. So if we end the game and still have them, those are extra victory points we get to tack on. The other thing is like when intrigue comes up, which we haven't talked about, that's where they're trying to assassinate you or get you eliminated from your position. You can spend EVP if we somehow don't have enough money to bribe ourselves out of it or to get ourselves out of the situation. I mean, the game ends if you fail to do that. So you could use an EVP to bail yourself out if you're in a pickle. I don't remember all the exact details, but that is the gist of what those EVPs are for. So they're like an insurance card, if you will. Okay, so the Vatican, if the Pam is +2 and Charlemagne is in Rome, he's crowned HRE. So you have to end your turn in Rome. That's interesting. Pam can be increased once during the game if the VP meets the VP threshold for the turn. And so our VP does not meet the VP. Well, hold on. Yes. Okay. So what they're trying to say is that if we meet our VP threshold for the turn, we're allowed to increase our PAM by 1, and that's once per game. We're going to do that as soon as we possibly can. I don't know why anybody would wait to do that. That's the one thing I don't understand about the game, is why that's posed to me as an option. Like, why would I ever not choose that option? That wasn't very clear to me. It says, once during the game, during the Vatican step of the diplomacy phase, if your current VP is already equal... Oh, so technically we're not already equal. We're actually 2 points less. So we can't do it. But it's saying that if you already passed the threshold, we can increase it by 1. So at some point we need to have a victory point surge. All right. Okay. So now we do what's called the end of turn phase. Now they have it here. It's all in shorthand. And then we have to resolve the Deadpool, which we already talked about, and we actually already did once before. And then there's this money stuff here. So at some point we collect our taxes, and it doesn't say that in the turn-in phase. So that's why I'm not trusting it yet. We have to collect our taxes as part of the end turn phase. So first thing we do is de-escalation. Examine each region and eliminate all +1 leaders. If Charlemagne is a holy emperor, eliminate all +2 regions. So leaders. So we look around and there is a +2 leader, but no +1. So no luck there. And I'm looking here, and that is under de-escalation. So I don't know why. Here's end of turn upkeep costs. These are the things that increase your tax level. We have to pay upkeep costs at the end of the turn. And then these are things that cause our taxation to go down. But at some point we would have gotten our money. So yeah, right here, collect taxes. It's what happens after the Deadpool phase. So I don't understand. Yeah, the cheat sheet let us down in this one. It would have been nice to have that as part of the end of turn phase and know exactly where and when that happens. So anyways, we're going to be okay. So let's just rely on this for now. So if that region has a finished church, more stuff happens. And we don't have a finished church. So we move on. So now we have, if the above case does not apply, we eliminate the topmost enemy unit from any stack with 3 or more units and no leader. Exception, if there is even 1 leader in a pagan region, that region is unaffected. Ooh. Further, eliminate the topmost enemy unit in any box occupied by Charlemagne or a marquis without a leader. So, lesson learned here, you want to end your marquis and Charlemagne turns on a unit. Okay, so what they're saying is, since that guy has a leader, we don't lose any units in there. But remember, we only eliminate the topmost if it's a stack of 3. So this one will lose his topmost, and that is it. There's nobody else. And it goes here. So then we resolve the dead pool. Now, just so you know, the cheat sheet guide has all of this well covered. Like, I think I could rely on the player guide and don't need to read this rule book to do anything. And the dead pool, I'm assuming, is the same way. In fact, yes, it is. So let's go look at this. And so what you can see here is that we can just jump through. We have only 2 types of units. We have a pagan and we have the Italians. Okay, so we can skip. The turn end goes into the hostile cup. So those turn ends, the 2 of them, I'm putting back in the hostile cup. Okay, then if we finish church and there's no enemies, then all those Italians would have gone into the friendly cup. That would have been awesome. But that's not what's happening. So we have anything that's in the blue region goes to friendly. The pagans go in the hostile cup. So that 1 pagan unit I'm going to put in a hostile cup. And then the Italians, you can see, are the otherwise. So they're going to go in the unfriendly cup, all 4 of those. And that's done. So now we got to come back to the rule book to collect taxes. So increase the number of coins in your treasury by the current taxation level with the following caveats. And that's where it does say there's end of turn upkeep, and there's also drains on taxation. So I guess it is all there. You just have to know that this is when you collect your money. I mean, if you ask me, I would have collected my money before the build phase because I didn't know any better. So that was the thing I was desperately looking for, is when do I get to collect my money? So right now I get to collect $9. So I jump all the way up to 11, and then we're going to have to deal with the subtractions. And we can rely on this because I like this format. Do we have any boxes occupied by the Moors? No. Vikings on the map? No. Is there an enemy leader on the map? Yes. So we lose $1 for that. We're down to 10. And then we have upkeep costs. For every marquee, we have to pay 1. And then for every level 3 Scara, we have to pay 1. That's the thing. We have 4 of these. So that's an expensive set of units there. And we have 2 marquees, so we're going to lose 6 more. So 10 minus 6, oh gosh, we only have 4 gold. That's that's rough. Yeah, and that's not my dog barking. That's just rough. It says you may not have enough money to pay your upkeep. And that's okay. There's no penalty if you don't have enough. But obviously having 0 gold means your next round you're not building anything. And then we earn victory points. And once again, this guide is actually quite helpful. So There's victory points that are scored only when it occurs, and then at the end of this, so we have an enemy-free region, Italy. So we get 1 victory point for that, so we're at 2. We have the Iron Crown of Lombardy, so we get 1 more, so we're at 3. We have 2 marquises, so we get 2. And we have no finished churches. And then for every 5 coins in the treasury, round down. We only have 4 coins in the treasury, so that's not going to get us anything. So that, my friends, is a whole game turn. So now we move forward, and we are here. So the new number here, as you can see, there's a 20 there. That 20 is called a military threshold, and gosh darn it, that's here. So after we earn our victory points, the continued support of England gives you emergency victory points. If you're short of the victory point threshold for the game turn, you can spend EVP to get it. The EVP for each space is for that space alone, So if the EVP is on a 3, you have a total of 6. Oh. So this is a cumulative series. Did I read that right? So if we're on the 3 space on the EVP track, we're actually getting 6 victory points because it's 3 plus 2 plus 1. So if I move it from a 3 down to the 2, I'm going to get 3 victory points for that. However, you cannot make change. So if you're 2 victory points short and you're on the 3 EVP space, then you move to the 2, which gives you 3 victory points to your total. You can voluntarily expend it at the end of your turn, even if you've already met or exceeded your threshold, but EVP expended in this fashion is only worth half. So I can see why we would do that, because in order to get crowned a Holy Roman Emperor, you need to get that last +1. And if you're already up to the 9 space, you just gain 1 regular VP instead of stacking up additional. I'll tell you what, if you're at the 9 space, you better voluntarily spend it. So that way you just get the automatic bump again. And then here we go, at minimum army strength. All level 1 units are 1 point, all level 2 is 2, and so on. If the total meets or exceeds the minimum army strength threshold for the current game turn, then great. If it falls short, you lose VP equal to the difference. This happens after you check the current VP threshold. Losing VP in this manner will not prevent you from... Okay, so this happens, yeah. So you check the VP threshold, and then you check the military threshold. Okay, and then we have to do this going to the next game turn. 2 friendly goes in the unfriendly cup, and 6 unfriendly go hostile. I think there's some Moors and stuff that was started off in the unfriendly, and then they go hostile. So there's some, like the things like the Vikings and the Moors are going to start becoming more annoying. Okay, so here's what it's trying to tell you if you didn't catch it. See that 20 on the top right? That 20 means I need 20 points of military. So I have like 3, this is 6, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. I have way more than 20 points right now. So I meet my military threshold. If I don't meet it, I lose victory points. So I have to keep my military to a certain standard, is what it's basically telling me. And I'm sure there's some weird strategy where you can try to, cut corners with your military and maybe still win. So that was helping with that. Okay, so 2 are going to go from the friendly cup to the unfriendly cup. So we're going to draw 2, and they go there. And then we draw 6 from this cup. And I'm just going to put them in my hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I don't know if we get to peek at them, but just to give you a flavor, a lot of those Italy ones are going into the, and then these are all Spanish ones. So they go into the hostel cup. And so we start turn 2. Okay, so back to the beginning. We get to do what's called a levy phase, which is, by the way, not in the cheat sheet guide, which is interesting. So we have to once again look at the rules on this one. It's a real easy phase, by the way. You can purchase a battle unit. It's 1 coin for this guy, 2 coins for that guy. And of course, it has to be level 1 or level 2 in the case of the cavalry. And that's it. We're able to promote a unit for free during this phase. But it can't be a unit we just bought. So that's an important thing. You get a free promotion. Total number of battle units you can purchase is limited to 1 plus the number of marquee pieces you have. Plus 1 if we have the Iron Crown, which we do, and 1 more if we're a Holy Roman Emperor. So, so basically we can buy 3 units right now. We're not allowed to promote a Skara. We may... It has to be an infantry unit that we're promoting. And we're not allowed to promote to level 4. So that is... because I was actually thinking, maybe I should promote to level 4, because then we can take advantage of having a level 4 the whole turn. So we only get to promote 1 unit. So I'll just grab one of these level 1s and make them a level 2. Maybe make a level 2 a level 3, but I actually... Let's get those level 1s promoted there. And then we can choose to buy units. And right now, we only have 4 gold. So I'm not going to buy any units. I think it's a decision I have to make. We need to get some churches going. If I buy a church, then I get taxes to go up. So that's a very important thing to do. And the taxes go up, obviously, only when you finish the church, not when you start it. But anyways, that's it. So now we get to the action phase. So we are back to figuring out what we want to do. And I honestly don't know what to do. We need to get Holy Roman Emperor, but we have to get this to a +2 first. The only way to get that to go up is written on our cheat sheet here. We need to finish 3 churches. So that means we need money. So how do we get money? That means we need ways to increase our tax level. So how do we increase our tax level? We have to build churches. I mean, it's just a vicious cycle. You have to spend money to make money, basically. If you look here, the Iron Crown of Lombardy is the only way to increase our tax level through war. Everything else... Now, placing a new marquee obviously was awesome, but that cost 6 gold just to do. And I did that, but now I'm out of money. So you can't build a bridge and road until you have a church. So the church is the first step. So that's where we're at. And if we do battles, the battle outcome is the one thing I always have to keep looking at the rules for, because it's not on our cheat sheet. But the battle outcome, you do get money if you kill a leader. But it's to your treasury. So if we want like immediate cash, we can go after a leader. And so if we look at this, there's one leader on the board, that guy. And maybe we should go take him out. What do you think? I think it would be helpful to take out, Spanish and other things. Italy right now is 100% free. So yeah, let's do it. So we're going to do a forced march to go there. And the forced march requires us to do one hostile reaction. So we're going to draw one from the hostile cup. And we get Gascony, which is going to have 3 in its stack now. Nope, that's just a 2. So these are such thick markers. I like them. Although that threw me off. Okay, so he has 2 in the stack. There's nothing else we really do with that. So now I cannot force march again. So there's a situation. And so I was actually stupid. I force marched here. I needed to force march there. So if you don't mind, I will do that because we're fighting this guy. So now we're going to go battle. Let's do it. Roar. We're going to battle. And we have to roll. And I'm getting high numbers. I don't like that. That's a 6. And we have to look at his bonus, which is a 2. And then you can see, oh my gosh, that's a 6. So he adds 8 to it, so we get 14. We're just not getting easy battles, are we? All right, these guys are considered brown. And at the 14, it's 6/6/4. That /4 is nasty. So these guys aren't fun to fight. But we're going to do it for the 2 gold. All right, so Charlemagne stays in the location. The leader just stays off to the side. And actually, all these units, what am I doing? I don't need to grab any of these. They all stay in the location. They don't get destroyed unless we win. This is what we're doing. We're drawing from here. All right. I just grabbed a whole bunch. I'm just going to grab them out of my hand one at a time. 1, 2, 3. And those look really bad. 4. It's like we got all the worst ones possible. 5, 6, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so this one is tough. So we're going to get our tough guys in here. 1, 2, 3 of them, in fact. And then over here, I'm going to put 1 on the end because that's tough. And then we'll use our level 2s to round it out. And then I'm going to put level 2 unit there. Yeah, we'll try that. Okay, so we get to go first, and this guy's going to go after the 6. I rolled a 5, and a 5 plus 3 is 8, and that's an automatic elimination because we're attacking with our cavalry. So then we have our infantry unit, and he has no choice but to attack this one. And we rolled a 7, and 7 plus 2 is 9. So we were able to hit him, and he's damaged. So now we go to the cavalry, and we're going to go after that one. That's a 7, so this guy is eliminated. Then we're going to go to infantry, same deal. That's a 3 plus 2 is 5, that's not enough. And then the cavalry is going to try to eliminate the one the infantry just attacked. And I got a perfect 8, so it's out. Okay, going over to here, we're going to attack this guy, and I rolled a 7, out, same, 6 plus 2 is 8, he's hit, This one will go here. 6 plus 2 is 8. He's out. Infantry, 5 plus 2 is 7. He's hit. Then the cavalry will try to take off the one on the end. And the one on the end is out. So we had a really good outcome there. Almost everybody hit. I think only one person missed. Okay, so now they go. And this is a 5 versus a 5. So he can't do any damage. This is a case for an isolation. When do we do the isolation check? Not till later. Okay, so this is a 5 versus a 4. Again, as long as we have to roll at least a 2. So I rolled a 2 or 5. I'm good. This is a 5 versus a 5, so he can't win. This guy has nobody against him. And this is a 4 versus a 5, so again, he can't win. So this is a 6 versus a 5. So we rolled a 5, we're good. A 5 versus a 4. We rolled a 4. Again, a 5 versus a 4. We rolled a 6. A 5 versus a 3. We rolled an 8. And a 5 versus a 4. We rolled a 4. So we defended very well against everybody. Okay, so I'm going to just go look, because this isolation thing had me confused last time. I want to make sure. By the way, the only other thing in the rules we're going to ever have to look up is the intrigue. So it's not going to be bad. I'm probably taking way longer to explain this game than it really is. Okay, battles. All right, so now we do the maneuver. So that's first. And this is the thing I was telling you about. Nobody's maneuvering on this right wing. On the left wing, I can maneuver. So this guy, for example, can do that. This one cannot maneuver, but this one's alone. So then we can deploy reserves. So I could actually try to put a unit here if I want. I'm not going to. So the isolation. If it is adjacent to one or more of your units, and it is the only enemy battle unit adjacent to those units. So this is an isolated case. This is an isolated case, and so is this. This one's isolated. Well, it satisfies the first part of this, right? So then the next thing is, one of these two things has to also be true. Its attack factor is less than or equal to the defense factor. Basically, he can't hit because his attack is equal to your defense. Or it's less than or equal to the defense factor of one of your units, as long as it's a cavalry. Okay? So here's what it's saying. This guy attack is less than or equal to this, and that's all that's necessary, so he's out. This one is equal to that, but he's greater than this one. So he doesn't satisfy the one criteria, because all the units have to be equal to or better. However, one of them is a cavalry, and that's all it takes to have it eliminated. And this is a cavalry, so it's eliminated. This one is greater than the cavalry, so it's not eliminated. Because it has to have an attack that's less than or equal to the cavalry itself. Here, it's greater than the cavalry as well, so he's not eliminated. It doesn't matter, we won. This side wins. I'm not going to do this calculation anymore. So we win, and we get 2 buckaroos for defeating this leader. So we now go up to $6. And then this entire stack goes into the dead pool. And I'm pretty sure the leader does too. So now we have to do cup adjustments. And so our cup has, our action requires us to do 1 friendly to unfriendly So we're going to do that. So one friendly to unfriendly, done. And then we have to do per the table. So if you remember, the brown was a 6/6/4. So for the table, it's unfriendly to hostile. So we have to move 4 of them from here to the hostile bucket. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Done. Okay, so that's the battle phase. So we cleared out their leader, and now we got to do more stuff. So I don't know what the best course. Oh! I almost forgot. We get promoted. So I'm happy. Although my level 3 cavalry do cost me money to keep. It is interesting. There's almost a strategy of, do I promote my cavalry so I can get my victory points and then conserve some money here, right? Because although our cavalry are pretty badass, I can understand why the designer did it, because these cavalry are so great because they can eliminate units in just one hit. And oh, I'm such a goober. I'm supposed to promote units from each side, and I took them all back. All right, I know I had a level 2 in both sides because that was done intentionally. So I'm going to take both of these units. Do I really want to? Yes, I do. I'm going to put both of these level 1s here and take 2 level 3 infantry there. That was, I know for a fact I did that. So now we have a lot of level 3 infantry. Why am I doing that? The level 3 infantry is as good as the level 2 cavalry. The only difference is the level 2 cavalry can kill somebody outright in the first turn. So, and you also don't have to pay expenses to keep them. So they're nice. Okay, now back to our actions. We can do actions with our marquees, so let's not forget that. It's just that sometimes they're not as good. I can spend $6 to put a marquee down, but then I'm down to $0 again, and I don't, oh no, I can't do a marquee, I have to do a church. So that's not even an option. I think all we can do is just go around and eliminate units. But every time we eliminate units, we're causing all kinds of havoc. So should we clear out the Saxons while we're here? I think, yes we should. Let's take them out. So this guy has a 6 on him. That's actually really bad. And we can try to suppress him, but I would have to roll a 6, greater than a 6 to suppress him. That's a really rare, that's a difficult roll. So that Saxon there in Saxon 2 is a tough cookie. I don't think the Germans take well to us trying to go there. We can gift it, meaning we can pay money, right? But it's equal to half the resistance, rounded up, and that's 3 coins. I don't think that's worth it either. I mean, we're begging for coins right now, so we can't do that. What's interesting though is we move things from the cup to the friendly cup whenever we gift money. So if we can find out a way to get a nice economic engine going, that's pretty interesting. I don't want to place a marquee, although it would be interesting to have one in the pagan territory. I can't do it. We just agreed to that. I can't do a siege unless there's a leader, so that action's out. I can do forced conversion, where I can eliminate all the units and leaders in my current box, plus the adjacent box, but I lose 1 victory point each. So I would lose 3 victory points. I'm currently at 5, but I can kill all of them. I don't think I don't think that's a good thing to do. It also makes people angry. So I think what I'm going to do then, you know what's interesting is I can't pass. I sort of want to pass, but I can't. So let's just eliminate more units. So I'm going to do a... So how, if a forced march requires me to go to an empty space, how do I just move here and do nothing? I guess that's considered a forced march. And I just don't move 2 spaces. So that's a weird situation. It doesn't talk about what to do. I want to go here. And so I need to do a move in the interim, but it's not a forced march move. So I'm going to do a forced march action because it does require me to draw from the cup. So I'm going to do that. And so we draw this is an Italy one. So they are now hostile again. And so now I'm going to do my marquee action to go here, and the marquee is going to try to suppress him. And so the marquee can only ever eliminate 1 unit, but otherwise the roll is exactly the same as any other roll, and we still get the +1 DRM. And so his number is a 5. We got a 4 plus 1 is a 5. That's a fail. So we move a thing from the friendly to the unfriendly bucket, and then we draw 2 from the hostile cup. So there's 2, and they're both Saxons. Oh my gosh, Saxons too, and they're powerful. Holy bucket, are they powerful! Okay, my marquee is going to try again. I got a 5 this time, which succeeded, so the Italian stallion is down. So I want to keep Italy litter-free. We're going to keep Italy litter-free here. So now we got an interesting thing. Those Saxons have 3 units in them, and now I can go battle them, which is what I wanted to do. But then I have to do a forced move and blah, blah, blah. I know, it's a tough life. Okay, so otherwise I can go try to clear out the Breton area, which the Marquis can do himself. It's just, yeah, the Marquis can do that himself. So I'm going to do a forced march again and draw from the hostile cup, and I get a Croat. So that goes there. And yes, we're going to battle. Let's promote some units. Yes. Oh, I keep wanting to... See, this is like Iwo Jima. I keep wanting to grab my units. Okay, I have to roll a die. There is no leader, so he's not being added to the die roll. But this guy on top has a 7 on him. So we are adding 7 to our die roll. And a 5 plus a 7 is 12. That's still going to be nasty. These guys are brown. And the 12 for the brown is a 654. So the 4 is pretty nasty too. 6 on the first one and 5 on the second. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3. And 2 more. 4 and 5. I think See, they got a nice description here of like, if you buy a marquee, this is what you get, and these things. See, this is nice too. I really wish that there was like a small summary of the battle steps, like right here. I know this is nice. I don't disagree with that. But it would be really nice to have something to remind me, you know, you do this, and then you do your movement, and then you check for isolation, and then you promote your units, and they go to the dead pool. The dead pool reckoning was supposed to be done, by the way. So before this guy ended up in there, we were supposed to do dead pool reckoning with these. So let me resolve that right now. Those are pagan units. They go to the hostile cup. Okay, so back to this regularly scheduled program. We're going to put 1, 2, 3. We're going to use our horses. We paid for them. We might as well use them. And we're going to put one there. And then I'm going to... Oh, that was an infantry. So we only have 2 cavalry here. And then I'm going to do level 3 infantry to round off the rest. And we are allowed to, even though they only have 5, we can actually put this guy in. Because as long as we're adjacent to something, we're allowed to place troops. So we can have more troops than them. There's no rule against that. So hopefully you can see pretty well. This is actually my alternative camera whenever my original one goes dead. But if you'll notice, I'm using my left hand and I'm not getting the lighting issue. And it actually sits, because you also notice my table's different. I don't have my blue felt, and I now have this bathtub. See how thick, how deep the table goes? So I took the lid off the table, and I actually have a bamboo base. And then there's a plexiglass over top. And the only annoying thing is this is my dog's fur. And see, look, it's underneath the plexiglass. I can't do anything about it. It's annoying me. Anyways, back to this. We're going to do our typical strategy, attack in the middle, and that's dead. Okay, and then we get to the infantry. 2. That's not enough. Then this guy is going to attack there. 3 plus 3 is 6. That is enough. This infantry did not get enough. And then he's going to go after that one. That was not enough. So we actually have a tough situation over there. Here, he's going to go after that one. That's enough. That is a 1. That's not enough. Here, 5 plus 2 is 7. That's enough. Here, 2 plus 3 is 5. That's not enough. And then the infantry did not get enough. So now he goes. This is an isolated case. He can't win. This one's going to be eliminated. I can proactively do that. But just from a sequence perspective, this doesn't happen yet. But he can't hit. He's going to be dead. Here, the one reason you don't want to eliminate this now is because this guy, if this guy wasn't here, you could, possibly move down. But anyways, I'm not going to sidetrack it too much. This one, he can't hurt either of them. Here, he can. And I rolled a 2, and our level 3 unit is eliminated. And then here, this is a 5 plus a 6. This is an 11. against our level 3 cavalry. And we rolled a 6 plus 5 is 11. That's not enough. We just lost a level 3 cavalry in battle. So that hurts. That side is hurting. Now here, he did not hit. This 5 did not hit. That 5 did not hit. This 6 did not hit. This 6 did not hit. Okay, so now we can put in our reserves. So I may want to, because we have our line open here, and unfortunately it's going to be brutal. So I'm going to put in my 2 level 1s. Go big or go home. Okay, now we do the movement, right? So we can move our troops around. So I can get this guy to here. No, I can't do that. So anyways, nobody can move. This one's eliminated due to isolation. So this one is eliminated due to isolation. Do we do that after the move? I think we do. Yes, we do. It just seems like it's so odd how this battle's turning out. Yeah. We're actually supposed to do the maneuver first, and then we deploy our reserves, and then we do this check. These two are going to be fine. Coming over to here, nobody's eliminated on this side. So now we get to attack. All we have are these two guys, and they're in trouble. So this one will attack there, and I got a perfect 8, so he's eliminated. This one will attack there, and I got a 7, and he's hit. Then we go here. I rolled a 4, not enough. Here is a 5, not enough. Here is a 6, that's enough to hit him. And then it's a 7, that's enough to hit. And that's a 6, not enough. So now we come over to here, this 5 versus the 3. We defend him. Here, defend. Oh, this level 3 unit is killed. Here, oh no, this level 2 unit is killed. Here, here. So 2 1s in a row there. That was awful. Okay, so now we get to do, see, I don't have my table. It doesn't tell me what to do next. So now I do maneuver, I believe. And then reserves. Yep, maneuver, then reserves, and then isolation. So, okay, so all it's saying is that I could move this to the flank and these guys down, but I mean, it says I can only move here if it's next to an enemy unit. So what do I do? I mean, am I stuck just 1 versus 1? Any eligible battle unit may move within its wing to an empty space that places them adjacent to an enemy unit. This may be one of your spaces, or it may be one of the enemy's. The latter case is called flanking. Flanking is only allowed if the empty space is adjacent to an enemy unit on one side and not adjacent to an enemy unit on the other. All of your spaces within that wing that are adjacent to enemy units have already been filled. Yes, so I can move him up and flank. And these units, I guess, just sit and sing Christmas songs. What they're saying is I can't pull one of these stunts. I can't go up between two units. Even though that's open, I can't go in there. That's what they're saying. Now, they are saying that I could, for example, in this case, go like that. But I couldn't do that because that's between two units. So that's, sure, I'll do that. And then I get to put more reserves out. So I'm just going to fill in these holes. All right, so we're going to go here, and if we win, this is over. So I'm going to start with the flanking infantry. And, of course, he doesn't win. And then the other one doesn't win. Then here, I got a 7, so I do hit. Here is a 5, not enough. That's a 6. That's enough to eliminate this one. And that's enough to eliminate that one. So we got a painful situation where there's 1 on each side. He cannot attack this one, but he can attack that guy. And we rolled a 2, and our level 1 is eliminated. So what I need to do is not put in level 1 refreshments, because then I can scooch down on the booch scooch boogie. So here we defended. Okay, so now same nonsense, except now I get to slide this guy down. That's my other option. These guys are sitting tight. Here I can scooch up and off we go. Now, one thing it doesn't clarify is, could I have scooched this guy down? Because it is going to put me next to him. The rules don't address that situation, so I'm going to assume no. So I got this guy that's just sitting here in the flank and can never move again. It just seems weird. But going to this one, the infantry, tied, not enough. And the cavalry finished them off. So we win. But we do have to finish the battle because they could still kill one of our units. And that's a perfect 8. Good thing, because I didn't clarify who was attacking. So, all right. So my big gamble here wasn't really smart. I lost a lot of units. And before I put everybody away, I need to promote. So I'm going to promote... I was going to promote some of my level 3 cavalry to get rid of a few. I didn't realize I was going to get rid of a few the harder way, but I'm still going to do it. These guys are going to promote to level 4 and level 4. So now I have 2 level 4 cavalry who are actually quite better. And level 1, level 3, level 2. Okay, so we do have to meet our military threshold of 20. So this is 1, 2, 4, 6. Oh gosh, yeah, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. Yeah, we actually do meet it because these guys are going to be gone. But anyways, we just defeated another stack of 3. And we promoted... I don't think we get any money. We have to do our cups. So when we win a battle, we have to move a friendly to unfriendly. So let's do that. Done. And then per this nonsense, we were at a 12, I believe. We have to do 4 unfriendly to hostile. So 1, 2, 3, 4. A lot of stuff going in there. Okay, and then hostile reaction is 2. Oh, we got to do Deadpool, right? Yeah, we have to resolve the Deadpool. In fact, we were supposed to do that before we even promoted our units, but not that it matters. Okay, so Deadpool. The pagans always hate us. They're going into the enemy bucket. The other one, the Italian one, goes into the unfriendly cup because we have a marquee. We have a marquee in there, so we do have a presence. So they're going into the unfriendly cup, which is the middle one. Okay, so now I think we can finally go. We're drawing 2 hostile tokens. And there's 1, there's 2. So we're getting another Saxons. This is right in the spot we just defeated. So they're just coming right back. Little baby said that I killed their papa, and they've devoted their entire life to destroying our way of life. And then this one is another Italian stallion. So it's peanut butter action time. So I'm going to clear out the Italian stallion. Let's go for it with the marquee. And that's not going to do it. That's a 1. So after we do that, to suppress, we have to move 1 friendly to unfriendly. And then we draw 2 from the cup. And we get 1, 2. All Saxons, all the time. It's like the Cinemax. Skinemax. Okay. I am at an hour, so I'm just going to hit stop and see you in 2 seconds. Stay awesome.